And hopefully we won't have a lot of caulk to clean up with us doing it this way. Okay. Now let's stick our paper towel into there. Now, since I've already got my hole pre-drilled, it's going to be a lot easier, I hope, to peel off the red tape. Okay, so now that we've got our epoxy on there, or our silicone is the glue, we're going to pull off that piece of tape. We'll go ahead and roll it on over. Search for our hole. And in will go our rivet. Now you may want to ask someone in your household to help you with this one first. Because sometimes these rivets are a little tricky. But if you stick it in your plexiglass first, and then roll it on over, ta-da! That tape will help hold it in place. And we'll go your rivet gun and give it a squeeze. Ta-da! Okay, so there's our first hole. Now I want to go ahead and drill in these other two. There we go. Now we'll stick a rivet in there. Okay. And really this is easy. All we've done is we've got our Dremel, we've cut the metal. Now we've spray painted the metal mailbox. And last, we are sticking our rivets in. And that one don't want to go in. Let me drill it a little bit more. There we go. You can see that epoxy's already starting to dry. Okay, so now I'm just going to follow that process on both sides to get it nice. So now we have our mailbox with the plexiglass, and I've taken another step and I've put some glue down and I've glued on leaves just from a regular ordinary plastic houseplant. After that, I've drilled a few holes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I went by the rivets. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fish a zip tie up through the hole. I'm going to take my plant, stick it in this corner, and bring the zip tie down. Now, underneath, you can see right here, we're going to run the zip tie through itself. And this will secure our greenery to the box. Now when we get done with this process all the way around, we can take this that we've glued down already and just bring it up and add a few little pieces here and there to give it some more whimsy. And basically what we're doing is we're making a palette for this amazing graphic 45 line to go on. Okay, so now we're going to start paper carving. When I say paper carving, I mean basically we're just going to get our X-Acto and we're going to cut out items that we want. I really liked these 3 fairies up on top, and for the simple fact that this paper line is so popular, I've already used it so many times, I'm now having to resort to getting some extra fairies from other areas other than my original Once Upon a Time Springtime page. This one is the Once Upon Springtime frames. And I'm going to use these guys, these 3 fairies, and we're going to set this to the side. Now, what I like to do, after I carve my paper, there's a bright white edge. Can you see that? I like to take care of that edge, and what I'll do is And you can use whatever colors you want. I've chose the Tattered Rose and the Stormy Sky for this one. The simple facts that the mailbox is blue, and the Tattered Rose goes really well with this pink background. So I'm going to start off with my Stormy Sky, and I'm going to show you how to blend your edges in. And we'll start with this fairy here. And what I do is I just kind of start off to the edge and roll up into the center. Now if you have some real delicate work, such as this fairy right here that has this hair, what I'll do is I'll load up my ink pad or my blending tool and I'll pounce on it. Just pounce up and down. Now that will help get some on the edges, and you can come over and do the front side as well, just real light. And it'll take that sharp edge off, if you can see. You can try to lift them and polish them like this. However, I think better coverage is done whenever you can get that edge pulled up in there nice and tight. So you want to blend your edges after you carve all of your paper out. And another helpful thing that I like to do is, again, on this hair where it's real thin, I'll take my glossy accents and I will run a bead of glossy accents on the back side of that to help keep and give it extra strength. So it dries clear, you really won't see it, but it'll just add some strength to that hair, so in case it gets pushed or moved around a little. Alright, happy carving. Be sure again and cover your edges, and then after all that, after your edges are carved, or after you've carved your paper, you've colored your edges, I like to take a product called Super Seal. It has a UV blocker sealer, and it also helps prevent water and fading and stuff from getting on. And I'm just going to spray the entire project. I'll let that dry, I'll flip it over, and I'll do it from the back side. So that way it'll have extra added protection. Excellent. Happy carving. So now we're going to fit our paper inside to cover up our metalworks. So how we're going to do that is just glue some pieces of paper together on the ends. Set them in here and mat them to fit. Now there's if we'll zoom in right here, there's a little lip in there that your paper can slide into. So cut it a little generous, so that way you'll have extra room there. And after you cut your paper, what I want you to do is set it on top of your mailbox so it has this rounded curve. The reason is that way when you put your tape or 3D foam tape, that's what I'm using to adhere mine to, when you put your 3D foam tape onto the paper, it will keep the natural curve, and that way it won't buckle. Okay. Now that your paper's in, I want you to cut out a hole for the flag mechanical operating system, and on the other side of this paper I'm going to glue really good to help keep out any extra water. And I'm also going to run a bead of glue or glossy accents on this edge right here to help any paper stay flat for when someone's sticking in mail. How cute!